stay together. So we're going to do what it takes to do that. And, we have great players that have done great things and deserve to be paid. They're going to be paid what they're worth, whether we do it or somebody else. I hope we do it. I think, we've had the discussions that the guys are going to get paid that need to get paid. And so it's a big offseason for the Bengals.
That was when Joe Burrow joined us at the Super Bowl. The Bengals ultimately did what Joe wanted them to. While giving both receivers in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins extensions, they also agreed with star pass rusher Trey Hendrickson to a revised deal on Tuesday. Mad Dog, starting with you. Will Burrow have any excuse now that they paid his guys if Cincy misses the playoffs?
Absolutely not, but I don't think it's about Burrow. I think it's about the team because I expect Burrow to play great. He's a great quarterback. Got to stay healthy, but I expect him to play great. Everybody loves to kill Mike Brown. Everybody likes to kill Cincinnati ownership. They're GM. They don't spend enough money. They're cheap. It's like the Paul Brown syndrome, who didn't really consider players that important when he coached for years and years and years. From that standpoint, old owner, everybody loves to kill Browns and kill the front office. That's over with now. Okay? They've been 1-11 in September the last 3 or 4 years. That team needs to go out there. I don't care about their defense. We lost our defensive coordinator. No excuses. Cincinnati this year has to have a big season. They got to win 11 games. They don't win the division. I can live with that. As long as they make the playoffs, they'd be very dangerous. The excuses are over. You can't blame it on anybody but the players. They wanted this. Chase wanted his money. Higgins wanted his money. Hendrickson made a big deal after he got negotiated 2 or 3 times, wanted his money. Now he got his money. Win games. It's all on the players. If they stink, they're going to get pounded. And I'm going to do the pounding on this show. It's all on them. That's the number one thing.
I say?
Doggie's right, but not totally, which is always the case with Doggie. It's on Burrow, and I'm going to tell you why it's on Burrow. Let's throw out these numbers here. Highest completion percentage in NFL history, minimum of 2,500 pass attempts, 4th highest passer rating in league history under the same criteria. Last year alone, number 1 in passing yards with nearly 5,000, number 1 in touchdown passes with 43, 3rd in QBR, 3rd in passer rating, 3rd in complete, and 4th in completion percentage. After all of that and missing the playoffs for a second consecutive time, knowing the residue of starting 1-11 in the first 2 games of each season over the last 6 years, you come on national television and you make sure that the Cincinnati Bengals know you need to keep Jamar Chase, you need to keep T. Higgins, and you need to keep Trey Hendrickson. Figure it out. And they get all 3 done for you. All 3, okay? And you miss the playoffs? Oh, no. This is on him. I'm never one to say it's on you because you got the money, because it takes more than you to win. We understand that. But when they do everything you asked, okay, and you have your requisite weapons, and had you not started out 0-2, 0-3 for 6, for the majority of the 6 years, that you would have made the playoffs, essentially what you're saying is, you know what, win 2 of the first 3 games of the regular season, and Cincinnati will be just fine. Because when you look at the numbers, Molly, 7-10-1 in the month of September. That's Burrow's record. 7-10-1, Doggy, in the month of September. 10-10 in October. So the first 2 months, you're either at 500 or below 500. And then in November, he's got an 8-7 record. In December, he's 10-3. And in January, he's 8-2, including 5-2 in the postseason. All right? So show up for the first 2 months, and nobody has a problem with you. That's Joe Burrow. You got your money. They kept the people you wanted to keep. This is on Joe Burrow.
See, I have always had this issue with QB wins being a legitimized stat when we're talking about quarterbacks, okay? Like, quarterbacks are the ones who are playing offense, defense, special teams.
Right.
It's always just – I will never get behind that. I just won't. And see, in this case, look, I'm not saying Joe Burrow doesn't have any excuses, but Joe Burrow does not coach. He does not scout. He does not play defense. He does not coordinate the defense. He plays his position, and he plays it at a historically great level. That's what he played it at last year. And he played it at that last year despite, since he has come into the National Football League, having an offensive line that is ranked in the bottom quarter of the NFL in pass block win rate, and he is still overcoming it. He's still doing it. Joe Burrow has earned every single cent that he has been paid there. But what is happening on the defensive side of the football cannot be ignored, and that is not Joe Burrow's responsibility. What is happening in terms of their ability to scout, draft, and develop into a formidable unit, one that plays complementary football with Joe Burrow's offense and Jamar Chase's offense and T. Higgins' offense, it just has not come to fruition. They've changed coordinators. They continue to look. They invest a lot in that side of the ball from a draft perspective, but they have got to get better ROI. They've got to get better return on investment in order for them to get to where they want to get to and what we're talking about, which is back to the Super Bowl and winning it this time. Why didn't they win the Super Bowl the last time they were there? Why didn't they win it? Because on the play that Joe Burrow was about to go ahead and have them hoist the Lombardi Trophy on, he got hit. That's right. By who? By Aaron Donald.
That's right.
Exactly. So look, he's done, to me. I'm not offering him an excuse, but if they do not make the playoffs or are not a formidable Super Bowl contender, I'm not going to come on this show or any other show and sit there and go, Joe Burrow's got to do more.
No.
Joe Burrow's got to do more.
That depends because, again,
if he has a season like he had last year?
Even with a season like he had last year, well, that included you losing to the Patriots to begin the season. In other words, you got to start off. You belong. So we get that part. But still at all, these brothers put up points in buckets. Now you got to continue to do that. There can be no drop-off. All I'm saying is there could be no drop-off, and you got to win a couple of those first 3 games of the season.
Look, I have 100% confidence that Joe Burrow will uphold his end of the bargain. I have 100%. But when we're talking about, we equate Joe Burrow's standing in the league and whether or not we give him praise or whether or not we criticize him with ultimate team success, wins and losses. And he's not totally responsible for the lack of success that they have had there. He has done everything that he can do. He's done everything that he can possibly. He can't play the game at a higher level.
Mad Dog,
he really can't.
Stephen A's point, they got to win a few games opening the season, which they normally don't do. They start with the Browns, Jags, and then Vikings. You think they win those 3?
I think they get off to a good start, and I'm with Mr. Riddick for a change. Now, they have a very hard schedule, and look when they play the Ravens late in the year. But they got a hard schedule. They got to play that NFC North, which is not going to be easy. That division is very tricky. They're at Buffalo. I mean, they got a hard schedule. But I'm with Lewis. I think that Burrow's going to play well. I mean, Stevie, going to blame him for losing to the Patriots now? How about Zach Taylor? Let's give him a little abuse, the head coach.
I've been giving him abuse. I call for an investigation into the man. What are you doing in the offseason, in the preseason? They can't win in September. I brought that up. How many times you want me to say it?
No, I agree, but you're saying it's on Burrow. Well, Burrow plays one and lose 41-38. You can't kill him. He scores 40 points a game, Steve. It's not his fault.
Last year, they lost the season opener to the New England Patriots 16-10. To 10.
I played badly.
Come on, y'all.
I'll give you that. But they also lost 2 games to the Ravens when they scored 40-something points. That's not his fault. They lost in overtime 41-38, and they lost another close game. That's not his fault.
It's also part of injuries because Joe Burrow's had a myriad of injuries.
Yeah, I don't know if the slow starts are because of injuries. I think, look, because of the way teams conduct training camps and because of how, practice time has been whittled down year after year after year by the CBA, and guys aren't getting a whole lot of 11-on-11 exposure in a real game setting, which I get it. Look, teams want to look. It's a long season now. You don't want to subject your players to injury risk. Well, really, what the trade-off is that first month of the season. Look, if your team is not able to really master the situations and be able to find those margins to where you can pull out wins, it's almost like an extended training camp at that time of year. And a lot of times, that is when you can wind up falling behind if you don't have a veteran-laden team, a team that's able to create opportunistic turnovers, a team that has a reliable field goal kicker, a team that's able, again, be able to master the situations. And so for some reason, Cincinnati hasn't been able to do that. They just haven't. And I think that, look, Joe has done everything he can as far as asking the coaching staff this year, hey, look, I want to play in the preseason. I want to do everything that I can do to make sure that we don't have those slow starts again, that we don't have those 10-point-per-game performances early on in September. I want to come out humming. And it looks like they're going to be good to go on that side of the ball. What I'm saying, though, is this. Joe's never going to look for excuses. He's never going to, offer up any kind of excuse in terms of his performance. But the defense has to hold up their end of the bargain. And if they do come out of the gate slow, and as Doggie's saying, they are averaging 28, 32, 35 points a game, it's not him. It just isn't, because it's a team game. And we like to make this about a quarterback league. It is a quarterback league, but it's a team game.
Okay.
Stephen,
Before we
real quick, we got to go to commercial.
16-10 loss to open the season to the New England Patriots. The second loss of the season against the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes only threw for 151 yards. They lost 26-25. He wasn't awful, but he wasn't what he was as the season progressed. And then they lost to 38-33 to the Washington Commanders. They started out the season 1-4.
No.
You trying to tell me that based on what I just told you, 10 points in the opener, you lose 26-25 game 2. You trying to tell me if I'm looking at the Cincinnati Bengals, with them keeping their personnel, with Joe Burrow and them all getting their bag, I can't look at them and say, yo, bro, you got to find a way to start off better than 1-4?
I'll tell you what you should say. Hey, defense, find a way to get one stop. Find a way to get one turnover.